because nothing costs $1 anymore. So you 2 pennies each time you go up $1. Louise, okay, you do the fucking math in your head. Hi, Hafaday, buenas noches. We are live here at Kandit News for the Late Show with us here at Kandit News. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah. So we are now 28 days brining since the Pacific Daily News decided to turn completely unethical and bury a story. They didn't even run the story about Jim Herbert, the Triple J executive who was at the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association charity ball 28 days ago or 28 nights ago, drunk as, wait, hold on, let me show my Christine Calvo toy. Not that kind of toy. It's Christine Calvo drunk, Christine Calvo without beer. Christine Calvo drunk, Christine Calvo without beer. I just love this. I love this toy. So, he was drunk as Christine Calvo fuck and ran his car into the Akonta Mall, reversed really fast, ran into a bus stop, hit a person in the bus stop. That person was injured. The Pacific Daily News didn't cover it yet. They have the need to cover every marijuana smoker, every child who is busted with marijuana, every druggie, everyone who does not fit in their standard of what is society's elite and well-postured, and they won't run the story about the past chairman of the Guam Chamber of Commerce because they're friends in their high-class society life. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter, folks. It really doesn't matter how much money you have or what you run or whether you're a news executive or whatever, because if you're ugly and fat, you're just fucking ugly and fat, okay? No one is going to give a shit. And Rendrati is ugly and fat. And so is her former editor, David Crisostomo, who was a drug dealer for a number of years, and she was aware of it, and she didn't run a single story about him either. That is the kind of ethics you get from the Pacific Daily News. And I have a bit to say about the Guam Daily Post as well, especially since Oyang Irigla is now writing stories about the budget, and she was the director of communications for the previous administration, and now she's writing stories on the current administration regarding the budget. I find that highly unethical, and it needs to be called out for what it is. But thank God it's not Kevin Kerrigan, because Kevin's a dumb fuck. And yes, we are going after our competition because it is competition, ladies and gentlemen. This is fair game, no matter what Nissan says about AK. Okay, I got a bunch of snowflakes working up in that department. They can't deal with a little competition. Look, I'm not an AK fan or anything. Okay, but if you're gonna be in the industry, especially in the car sales industry, you gotta grow some balls and, like, you know, man up and put the snowflake away. Jesus Christ. So there is a missing dog. Joey Solis. Hazelnut Uggan posted on Guam Lost Found Pets. That's GUAM space LOST/FOUND space pets PETS. I'm having to spell that because we've been having spelling and grammar issues in Mariana's Dirty Laundry and the whole Frank, Ariel, and Jessica scandal, which now includes a Corey and a Janelle. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to a live call with Lesia Kanata, the person who posted that from Mariana's Dirty Laundry. We're going to get to that in just a second. But Hazelnut Uggan posts on Guam Lost Found Pets a missing dog alert from Joey Solis. This was yesterday at 3:20 p.m. Please help get our boy. Can we throw it to my screen? Chalu? Ready? Please help our boy Skunky back home, reuniting for families dedicated to Hazelnut. Lost dog, last seen Saturday. This is just this past weekend, folks, in Estumbo Dededo along my Sengsong Road, wearing a red collar. If you've seen him, please contact Joey at 988-9500. Let me open this picture up more. Or let me just do this. If you can see that more. 988-9500 is the number to call if you've seen this dog. He may be wearing a red collar. He may not. He's a brown dog. He looks, oh, he's smiling in the picture. And that's a baby in the picture. That means that that baby owns that dog and that baby is looking for its dog, okay? So if you don't return, if you have the dog and you don't return it, you're fucking evil. And if I find out who you are, I'm gonna call my friends. And you know what kind of friends I have. And I'm gonna be like, look, you need to look for this motherfucker and get that dog back and return it to that baby. And then whatever you need to do after that, don't tell me about it, but please do it. But if you have a heart, please return this dog, okay? It's someone's dog. And well, last night we ran a missing dog thing about a dog named Bruno in Mong Mong who went missing. Can we throw up that picture, Chelu? And within minutes of the live cast, Shauna got a phone call from someone in Mong Mong who found the dog. So we're gonna call Shauna right now and see how Bruno's doing. I hope she's still awake.
Hello.
Hi, may I speak with Shauna, please?
This is she.
Hi, Shauna. This is Troy. You're live on our show.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great. How's Bruno?
He's good. He's happy to be home. We actually have another fur baby. He was excited, so he was seeing his buddy, and they're happy now.
So what happened?
So after about 10 to 15 minutes after you aired it, we had a text message.
Okay.
They said, we got your dog, and they wanted us to know that the dog is safe. Call if you'd like to meet up because it's kind of late. So we
Wow.
called and said that they found the dog and they had him. And I guess because we had no flyers up or nothing, after they saw your show, that's when we got the text and we went to meet up to go get Bruno. So thank God he was only gone for a day and a half. He was hungry, but he's home safe now.
Did you give him like a little doggy spanking like Bruno?
Oh, it was kind of our fault. We normally let the dogs run loose because they stay within our area.
Yeah.
And
Bruno got
I don't know,
excited.
maybe he was being adventurous that morning.
Normally, if a dog, especially like a young dog, sees like a pack of dogs like walking through the neighborhood, that they want to make friends, especially they're very sociable.
Yeah.
And so they'll follow the pack and they'll like be friends and like then before you know it, they've lost their way home.
Yeah, well, actually, so his security camera, so our camera recorded footage of where our dog had went. So we saw all the dogs go in there, but he was the only dog that didn't come out.
Oh, okay.
He actually went knocking on the apartments, and everybody claimed to have seen him, but nobody had him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so happy. I mean, that's everything to me that Bruno came home. And does the family that took care of him for that day and a half, did they want to remain anonymous, or did you want to do a shout out to them?
I asked if I could take their picture. They were hesitant, so I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to impose.
Sure.
His name was Mike.
Okay.
And, we're grateful that he texted us. We're grateful, especially that he was watching your show.
Well, Mike, whoever you are, Mike, you are the hero of Kandit's Troy Live Late Show. That is such wonderful news. I'm so happy that you got your dog back. Tonight, we're featuring a dog named Skunky, who was last seen just this past Saturday in Estumbo Derrida along by Sengsong Road. He is a brown-looking. He looks like a part pit bull dog, and if you've seen him, contact Joey at 988-9500. I hope this family has the same good juju that you guys had in getting Bruno back.
Hopefully, everybody watching tonight, somebody's got to see him, and
right?
Let's send him home.
Well, thank you so much, Shauna. I'm so happy.
Thank you to all of you at Kandit News and everybody on Facebook for helping us get our dog back.
You're welcome. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
All
Goodbye.
right.
Good night. So, okay, that's just way better than getting high. I swear to God. So, Now that we've got the really nice stuff out of the way, now we're gonna call Alicia Kanata, and we're gonna talk to that bitch. That is my friend, and she is the shit. I swear to God, she posts the funniest shit on Mariana's Dirty Laundry. And Cedric Maravilla is the owner of the Mariana's Dirty Laundry page. Cedric, can you please take Mariana's Dirty Laundry off of the secret group, whatever, and put it on and like publicly have the group available so that, because everybody's asking how do we get into Mariana's Dirty Laundry, and everybody's like, we can't find it, and I realize it's because it's a secret group. Cedric, it's like the most in-demand page on Facebook for Guam, because everybody wants to know about all of that shit that's on there, and we're gonna keep bringing it to you. Girlfriend.
What's up? Honey.
You're live on Kandit.
Cedric, I told you I'm not sleeping.
What?
Oh, that's the insight.
Oh.
Cedric.
Can you tell Cedric to please take that group off of secret and put it on public or something?
We can. There's a whole lot of shit.
Why?
Because.
Oh, because Chatmax are going to get mad, right? All right, fine. Hear no evil, see all evil on Mariana's Dirty Laundry. Well, let's get to, because, all right, so the Bobby Ho files were pretty funny, right? But then just exploding in one night, there's now the Jessica Ho files, which might not even be the Jessica Ho files. It may be someone who is not even Jessica, like posing as Jessica, but maybe an Ariel. Let's, Cello, throw to the screen to the Mariana's Dirty Laundry page. Are we on it? Okay, now we're seeing a post from Janelle Cruz that says, wait, let me just update everybody, okay? So yesterday, someone named Jessica Perez on Facebook had her dirty laundry posted up by, I guess, her ex-boyfriend, her supposed ex-boyfriend, Frank Campus, right, Alessia?
Yes.
Okay, and so it was all about how Jessica wants Frank back, and they have a baby. They have a baby together, and she's using the baby to like get back at Frank, but then she keeps talking about his coochie, right? And so, did I say that right? It's not a coochie.
Frank
it's
is with Ariel.
So Frank is with Ariel now. Ariel and Jessica.
With baby girl. Jessica has a baby boy from Frank.
Okay, so Frank is the man. Okay, apparently.
The golden grail of dicks. Oh my gosh.
And so Jessica is fighting for Frank, right? And she's harassing Ariel, and somehow there's someone named Janelle Cruz who's involved, because she just writes, Jessica, grow the fuck up and face me while you bring my ex into this, that I'm saying shit about him and his wife. I could care less. Girlfriend, there's a space between care and less. About him and his wife. I have never said anything about them. Yes, I said my ex, and you're my ex-sister-in-law, but that's it. Bitch, get your fucking facts straight, or do you even know how to go straight, because no one wants you? Girl, you're gonna have to take it from here, girl. Tell our audience what this is all about.
Oh, boss, what did you know? Is she Garrett's sister-in-law or Frank? Is this a different bit? I don't know. I don't know the backstory with her.
It's just coming in so fast, so quickly, right?
Yes, and there's so many posts, I'm getting lost.
Now, well, let's give a quick caveat here. These people, they're fairly young, right?
Very young. They should still be in the kitchen cooking, right? What the heck? They're doing it.
You know, all my friends with kids, right? I'm like, fuck, man. You know what? If I planned this shit right, like I would have been smart about this. Like those of you with like 4 kids, that's so fucking smart. One of them makes the goddamn rice, the other one washes the dishes, the other one does the yard, and then the next one does all the laundry, you know? I need to borrow some of these kids. Never mind taxes.
I should understand taxes. For child labor, that's ridiculous. I'll
So,
just put your ass.
so these these guys, they're all fighting over Frank, and they're all also fighting over their own sense of honor and dignity or whatever. Like the Young and the Restless.
The days of our lives. I don't know, but I just got word that this is the Paga neighborhood.
This is the what?
So, this is from Paga, Manila.
So all of them are from Paget, Manilao.
Yeah, one big happy neighborhood.
They all live in the same neighborhood?
Yeah, so is it, what do you call that show, Mr. Rogers?
But they're posting it all on
Mr.
Facebook.
Rogers?
They're not like knocking on each other's doors and like calling each other out to fight.
Walking down the street, yeah.
Oh, you see the good old days. Just, you just call someone out from their front door. And you did dispensa lai, senora, I just want to talk to your grandson. Now it's like, oh, I'm gonna be tough on Facebook. Is there? Okay, Alessia. Okay, is there any? This whole fight is gonna. It's gonna take a long time to get all the comments. All of this shit is so fucking funny and it's hilarious. I don't think there's anything that's gonna be able to replace this for a while. But is there anything in the pike? Like, are you holding anything back that you haven't posted because we're still stuck on the days of our lives here?
I'm still trying to get in touch with Ariel. Ariel has another name coming out. He's holding back.
Oh man.
I don't know why.
I love Ariel. Okay, so who are our friends here? Who are we? Now, okay, so Frank is the untouchable, right? He is this is the man's man right here, right?
Right.
But Frank, and Frank even like went so far as to go up to his friend Garrett and tell Garrett that, hey, while you were in prison, I was fucking your girl. Only honorable men do that, okay? Only honorable men fess up to their friends that they've done.
They're not even besties.
Well, I would hope they're not besties. They're just bros bros together.
Bros doing hope, I don't know.
Bros doing bros. So.
I just passed your office. Bye.
You passed my office? Did you flip the bird to? Well,
I was in the car.
So, there is something coming down the pike, and it's from Ariel, and we'll find out more in Mariana's Dirty Laundry. Can you guys please approve all the requests that you're getting? Can you ask Cedric?
They're not underage, and so we have guidelines.
Oh, I see. There are guidelines. That's right. There are guidelines. Okay, so if you're not underage, if
It's a real profile.
if it's a real profile, and as how do you vet if it's a real profile though? There's a lot of fake profiles.
Well, we're finding out now. There's a whole bunch of Jessicas.
There's a whole bunch of Jessicas. Apparently, we're gonna keep watching this shit because this is so fucking funny. I even did a show at 4:30 in the morning when I came back from the gym because I was reading the comments and I was like, okay, I gotta do a whole show on this. And I did it from my living room in candlelight as quietly as I could because people were sleeping and I didn't want to wake up my dogs either.
That was part one. There's already 4 parts coming up, part 5, but they want to keep it all in one thread. So good luck.
I love these people and I love you, girl. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. So, that was Alessia Canazza. So Kandit is gonna do a view type show. We have like another set that we're building where we're gonna have 4 people around a table just talking shit for like an hour about different things on this island and like talking shit about people. It'll be like going to the beauty shop or watching, Whoopi Goldberg and whoever those people, Joy, whatever, and whatever their names are on The View. Except they'll be more interesting. And I was thinking of asking Alessia to be one of those people who gets on the show. Don't worry, we won't have anyone boring like Carlotta Leon Guerrero. So on to something more serious. But before we get to some serious talk, let's go to our sponsor, Island Cuisine. And I was meaning to go and get food from them so I can show you how good this shit is, and because I'm hungry, but I wasn't able to do that tonight. I'll do that tomorrow night. But you know, it just let I'll let you see their food. It looks so fucking good. So there was a little letter sent to the media today, and they didn't send it to Kandit, of course, because we previously exposed the conspiracy against Colonel Esther Agigi, who is the Adjutant General of the Guam National Guard and faces confirmation before the legislature on April 16th. We got word from Senator Pito Terlahi's office that the senator, who is the oversight chairman, fully supports her confirmation and sees it as a smooth sailing confirmation. But that has not stopped a cabal of men in the Mark Calvo group of macho type assholes from trying to sink Colonel Agigi's confirmation because, well, simply because she's a woman. And for the past 2 years, they have led this conspiracy against her, and they've tried so hard to push this woman down after pulling herself up by working harder than the men ever had to work in order to rise through the ranks of the Guam National Guard. And she went to War College on her own merit, and she earned this position that Governor Lulian Guerrero has appointed her to. Now, today, in another effort to push the general down, this anonymous letter gets sent to all other media stations. It says, Army promotion regulations. Can we throw to my screen? Army promotion regulations and policies determine an O5 to be promotable when the officer is on an approved and confirmed promotion list. Lieutenant Colonel Esther Agigi is not on a promotion list at the time of appointment, nor as of today. GCA Title 10, Article 2, Section 63201. The Adjutant General shall have such ranking qualifications as the governor may prescribe, and he shall, first of all, okay, let's just tear this apart. First of all, this is just such an outdated way to cite this shit because she is not Imaga Lahin Guahan, all right? She is Imaga Hagan Guahan, and she is a she. Our governor is Lulian Guerrero. Secondly, this guy is just making up a definition of the word promotable. They are just mincing. They're just singling shit out and trying to say anything that they want to say to get this woman to not be the adjutant general. They're, what do they call it when you're, oh, they're splitting hairs. Splitting hairs when they know that this woman has worked harder than the men who are trying to get that job. And it's just this little cabal of men who are doing everything in their power to attain power themselves, to retain or to regain power for themselves, the power that was lost because they did such a shitty fucking job when they were in charge of the Guam National Guard. All right? Now, I have it on good authority that if you look at who they sent this to, at the bottom of this thing it says CC, Pacific Daily News, Guam Daily Post, KUAM, K57, Office of the AG, Guam Legislative Legal Counsel, and then look at the senators. Senators Jose Terlahi, that's the oversight chairman, Regine Lee, Therese Terlahi. Big mistake sending this to Talina Nelson, because this same thing, Talina Nelson was a victim of this same bullshit by these same men. And remember that thing where she had to give back her rank? They said, oh, we accidentally gave that to you, so you have to give it back. She was the victim of this bullshit that happened, and that is happening to Lieutenant Colonel Esther Agigi. Same thing. Same thing happened to Talina Nelson, and that woman should receive an apology from the Guam National Guard for what they did to her. And then they sent it, the only Republican they sent it to is James Moylan. Funny enough, 2 weeks ago, James Moylan was seen at the venue right across the street from Kandit with former Adjutant General Roderick Leon Guerrero enjoying some drinks because the former Adjutant General is a drunk. But it's not so much that he was imbibing like a Christine Calvo. It was more so the content of their conversation. They're just trying to sink the confirmation. And Jim Moylan, you are fast becoming a super disappointment to the people and voters of Guam. All you've done is stand up for raising taxes like you promised not to do. You have allowed gambling to come back like you promised not to do. You didn't even tackle the whole Liberty Machines issue. Oh, and then you were trying to covertly hire John Moffness. And then we just took that whole fucking program down for you. Now you're trying to sink Esther Agigi. You should be recalled, Jim. You should be recalled because you are a sad disappointment. You are an enemy of the people of Guam. And there's just, fuck off, Senator Moylan. So, now this is not the only place where this is happening. And you know what? We need to be, we really need to be cognizant of these moves that are being made in dark corners of our island. And so, I have my issues with Governor Lulian Guerrero's, some of her senior staff who have made things difficult in the way of financial transparency over the past week. But overall, don't get me wrong, overall, she deserves a chance to succeed as the governor. And I recognize, and we all should recognize, that there are people out there who are trying to make it hard on her for nothing more than the fact that she is a woman. And they're gonna start their effort. They've already started their effort by trying to take down the woman who she's appointed into positions of power. It's not just the Adjutant General, Lieutenant Colonel Esther Agigi, who is becoming a victim to this cabal of men. It's also people like Director of Corrections Sam Brennan, who, as I understand, has been doing a phenomenal job implementing Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio's criminal justice reforms, which are striking, they are outstanding, they are extraordinary and unprecedented in our time, or in the history of the government of Guam. Sam Brennan is one of the leaders of that criminal justice reform, and she's the director of the prison. She's making moves there that aren't so popular, and the real fucked up thing about it is that it is women underneath her who are trying to sabotage her. Women underneath her who are not happy because, let's face it, corruption sees no sex. Corruption does not discriminate between men and women when men and women are part of the corrupt. And so people like Major Kirigua and what the fuck is that other lady's name? I forgot her name. Well, lady is a loose term. It's more like a Carabao, like. I forgot her fucking name, but who have been undermining the director. And there was this recent news story about how the director is trying to save costs at the prison by reducing overtime and replacing it with compensatory time, which is completely legal. It is actually a very smart way of trying to live within your means at any government of Guam agency, and that the fact that she has made it more of a policy instead of just an arbitrary type of thing says something about her management style. It says that she has her shit together. But that's not going to make people who are at the top levels of the prison happy, because it means that they can no longer play with overtime for their underlings. They can no longer build their kingdoms based on the amount of hours that they're able to give to other corrections officers. It means that things will be more fair at the correctional facility among the corrections officers and other staff there. And so good job to you, Sam Brennan. And despite what these people are trying to do to you, you just keep forging on, because you need to make these criminal justice reforms if we're going to see any change for the good and betterment of our community and its progress. All right, so let's go to a break so that I can gather my thoughts together as we talk about the main part of our thing today, and that's going to be the Pola cranes over at the port, and some good news that we have over at the Port Authority of Guam as well. I told you I could be positive as well. Well, but before we go to the break, let's throw up, I promised everyone that I would that I would show the picture of Captain Eddie Calvo. This is your captain speaking. Do we have that picture up, Chelu? This is your captain speaking. It's kind of fucked up that they call it a lisp, don't you think? So, all right, we're just gonna throw this break because I need to gather up all my shit here. I don't always have my shit together. Oh, he doesn't have it? Okay, never mind. Well, let's go to the break. Let's just cut to the commercial. So I found that picture. Chelo, can you cut to my screen? This is former Governor Eddie Calvo in some stupid fucking getup. And we made a meme out of this last year that says, "This is your captain speaking." Fuck that guy and his drunk ass wife. I forgot there's like a whole segment that I completely forgot about before the polo cranes. It's the budget. Now, tomorrow, the media, all of the media got an invitation from Adeloop to sit down with Lester Carlson, who's the director of the Bureau of Budget and Management Research. We'll just call him the budget director because it's just too difficult to say Bureau of Budget and Management Research. So Lester is the budget director, and we're supposed to sit down about the budget. And so I asked Janela Carrera, can you please get a cash person, like someone from the Department of Administration there, because it will be a worthless use of everyone's time to ask Lester questions. And I know how Lester's going to respond when he's asked anything of any relevance to your tax dollars, and that is, oh, that's a cash question. You need to ask someone from DOA about that. This is why they restrict themselves. They've compartmentalized themselves to just having Lester at the table so that the hard cash questions can't be asked at the same time that the budget person is there. So, because that shit pisses me off, Johnny did some research and actually found some of the bank statements. Hold on. Can we throw to my screen? Okay. If you guys can see my cursor, I want you to see. You see what I'm highlighting right here? The Efficient Payment Trust Fund. Now, this is a checking account. This is the checking account that the law says tax refunds must be paid from. At the beginning of February, just this past February, there was $512.53 in that checking account transferred in or deposited into that checking account that was supposed to be from the income tax refund reserve account, which is a savings account, was $844,475.96, and then transferred out or withdrawn, meaning checks were written from this checking account, and supposedly it was for the payment of tax refunds of $844,475.91. So close to $1 million in the month of February was paid out in tax refunds. These are tax refunds for tax year 2017 and prior. But I found something weird. Hold on, let me just exit out of here. And I was looking through this shit. Hold on. As I was looking through this shit, go back to the screen, Chalu.
It's on it.
There's also this new thing, you can follow my cursor, called an income tax refund checking account. And I thought, why the fuck is there an income tax refund checking account if there is an efficient payment trust fund account? This is not in the law. And nothing stops the administration from creating a bank account It is a bank account at the Bank of Guam with account number ending in 1561. It is written off of the general fund. In the beginning of February, there was $4.8 million transferred into that account. The same amount of money that was transferred out of the Efficient Payment Trust Fund was transferred into this account, and then $1.2 million was written from that account, and there is an ending bank balance of $4.399 million at the end of February. They just let $4 million sit in that account while you were waiting for your tax refunds. I just want you all to know that. As at least in the month of February, they had all of that money sitting while you were waiting for your tax refunds. This is according to these, this is their own report. $4 million. And now let's see, the average tax refund, I believe, is $2,500 if I'm not mistaken. Let's do the math here real quick. I can't do that shit in my head. So $4,300,000 divided by $2,500. That would have been tax refunds for 1,720 of you that they just sat on in the month of February. You see, don't ever make the media wait for fucking answers and like try to cover it, because we'll just go and find it. We'll find it ourselves and we'll expose it, and it might not look good for you, okay? Well, if you work with the media, right, you can better explain things. But as we are seeing in black and white, the administration kept $4.4 million in a checking account meant for the payment of tax refunds, and they tried to hide it by placing it into another checking account. They tried to show that the checking account authorized by law was depleted, but all they did was send it into another checking account not authorized by law, a new checking account for the payment of tax refunds, and they just kept the money there. For what reason, I don't know, and the administration should answer tomorrow. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know, the report for March is not out yet. And after this, they probably will never do this report again. But the administration did release the budget request for fiscal year 2020. And I was listening to Phil Leon Guerrero's show earlier today on News Talk K57, and he was pointing something out, and I thought, that is very interesting, Phil. Let me do a search here. Village flower. So, on page, I'm going to get starting on page 43. The fuck does this thing work? Starting on page 43, there is an appropriation to the Mayor's Council of Guam. Are we on the screen? Notwithstanding, right over here. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, for fiscal year 2020, the sum of $858,935 is appropriated from the Territorial Educational Facilities Fund. The sum of $1,365,252 is appropriated from the Tourist Attraction Fund. This is the one to pay attention to. And blah, 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 for the following programs. Street maintenance and beautification, okay. Island-wide beautification projects, okay. Now page 44. The planting and maintenance of each village's official flower and other flowering plants, shrubs, and trees adjacent to the village's main roads, public restrooms, and recreational facilities. A mayor may contract with a private entity to provide the services authorized by this section, subject to the Guam Procurement Law, Chapter 5, Title 5 of the Guam Code annotated. Let's stop right there. We can get off of that now. Let's stop right there. And let me get a cigarette for this, because this is corruption corruption written into a budget. Now, the corruption hasn't happened yet, but its authorization sure is being requested by the Guam legislature, or by the administration to the Guam legislature, to authorize this to happen. They are trying to take $1.3 million of your money from the Tourist Attraction Fund to allow 19 different people to set up contracts with countless entities. And you know what those contracts are? It's nothing more than political patronage. It is the ability for the administration or whomever to pay people back for their contributions during the campaign. That's all that is. And if they tell you otherwise, we need to promote the village flower, I'm like, this is not about the fucking village flower. Because if it is, they would have given them the money for the seeds and the soil and the water, and there would be a volunteer day and everyone would plant the village flower all over the fucking village. But it's not. That right there is corporate corruption written in to your budget. And it's a $966 million budget. So thanks to Phil Leon Guerrero for pointing that out. And like, I haven't even looked throughout the rest of this, but we will, and we're gonna find every instance where there's some shit like this written into the budget. Like, and then they're gonna say, it's public-private partnership. No, it's not. It's political and corporate corruption. That's all it is. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is. And the administration needs to be called out for it because that's bullshit. They ran in a campaign against it. And it just shouldn't. We're going to ask Lester about it tomorrow. That's for sure. And any other thing that we find in this budget. Now, okay. Well, that's all I had on boring finances. Let's cut to a break, and then when we come back, we will really get to the polo cranes and to some good news from the Port Authority of Guam. So, interesting finds with the Port Authority of Guam. Not the current port management, but the previous port management. When Joe Mann, you know what? Let's throw up that video. We found a video of Joe Mann Brown at Horse, Cow, and Whale on one of those machines. You know those machines that you ride when you're like sexy? Well, but there's new machines for not sexy people. Let's throw that up.
One.
That was from the Great Earthquake of 2019. They're like, I'm sorry, sir. We can't refill your fries. You've had too many. We don't have any more potatoes in Idaho. That fell off that fucking well. I don't know what double entendre means, but that looked like one. So, Joe Mann, back in the day, I believe the year was 2013, 2014, something like that. So, then Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz got wind of, because of his connections in California, he got wind that the Port of Los Angeles was selling these 2 cranes that they didn't need anymore because they got new cranes. They got their shit together and they got their own cranes. And they were like, look, Guam, you poor peasants, you can have these cranes for $1. And so then Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz told Mike Benito, who was the vice chairman of the board at the time, and Dan Tidinko, the chairman of the board, but it was Mike Benito, Governor Eddie Calvo's brother-in-law, and the general manager of Payless Supermarkets, that ripoff, about this crane sale, because the vice speaker was thinking, hey, you know, these guys should buy these cranes for $1 each. And then, like, you know, I'm sure the legislature can appropriate money to have the cranes transported from the Port of Los Angeles to the Port of Guam. So instead of buying the cranes, Mike Benito told Matson, about those dollar cranes, and Matson purchased those fucking cranes and then turned around and leased them back to the government of Guam with a maintenance contract provision. So fucked up. You want to know what's more fucked up about it? We've been getting information showing that because Matson is in charge of the maintenance of those cranes, when those cranes start having problems while they're unloading ships, because it happens, they're old cranes. It happens when they're unloading ships for Matson and when they're unloading ships for APL. The efficiency rate in the fixing of those cranes during the unloading of containers from Matson ships is so much greater than the efficiency rate when they're unloading containers from APL ships. Guess who's doing the fucking maintenance and who's in charge of that efficiency? It's Matson. This is on top of the fact that Matson is leasing those fucking cranes to us that we could have bought for a goddamn dollar. But Mike Benito has his ass so far up Matson's fucking... I got that wrong. Has his vagina so far up Matson's ass that there's got to be something. It's definitely unethical, but there's got to be something that actually criminally corrupt about what Mike Benito did in telling Matson to go and purchase those cranes, rather than having the port board get together and saying, hey, instead of giving Joe Mann all of these illegal raises that the port board never even gave, and it was just Dan Tidinko, why don't we invest one of those dollars to buying these 2 cranes from the Port of Los Angeles so that the ratepayers don't have to pay so fucking much in shipping? I want to show you some shit that I found just by doing simple searches online. Now, this is how all of this shit affects all of us. Now, throw it on my screen. This is the import-export report, Guam import data, captured in June 2018 by the Bureau of Statistics and Plans. This is based on bills of lading and all this shit from all the documents that come out of the seaport and the airport. And it captures all of this data. When I was talking to you about, how almost everything that we buy, almost everything that we consume comes from the seaport, I want you to look at this list of shit, okay? Almost everything, look at this. Meat and edible, I don't know what that word is, offal of beef. Whatever, that sounds disgusting. Fish, fresh, chilled or frozen. Fish, dried, salted, or in brine. Crustacean, in shell or not. Mollusks, milk and cream, not containing sugar. Milk and cream containing sugar. Buttermilk, butter, cheese, bird's eggs, not in shell, egg yolk, vegetables, fruits, coffee, tea, spices, rice, flour, oils, sausages. Everything that Joe Man Brown eats, like all together for breakfast. Just consider 1% of that is what we have in our pantries and in our refrigerators. That's still a lot, okay? Almost everything comes from these imports, and almost all of it is imported by Matson. Now, I found another report. Oops, not that one. Not Guam facts and figures at a glance. Oh, here we go. Moody's, that's one of those financial ratings agencies that we go to for ratings on our bonds. At economy.com, under Guam, we can find our nominal gross domestic product. This is the gauge of our economy, right? Guam has been enjoying significant growth, economic growth, since a low point in 2011. Now, the low point is, that's the change in growth or whatever. But the low point was in 2010, sorry. So nominal gross domestic product in 2010 was $4.9 billion. As of 2017, $5.9 billion. So every year, basically, the economy of Guam has grown by $1 billion. Let me ask you, there are 80,000. If you go to the labor force statistics, it shows you that as of the latest reports, there are 80,000 people in the workforce. Let's do that math real quick on my calculator, because I can't do that shit in my head. $1 billion. Oh shit, this only goes to 100 million. Okay, so just take a zero away. Okay, divided by $12,500. Let me ask you, has your income increased by $12,500 in the last year?
No.
No. Do you feel $12,500 richer every year for the past 9 years? I don't, because I sure as fuck. I mean, aside from a recent thing that, but that was molestation. Okay, we can't go there. But aside from a recent, windfall of very due justice to me and to others, I have not felt $12,500 richer every year for the past 9 years, and I would say that 99% of us have not either. So where the fuck did this money go? Because everything has been getting way more expensive on this island. I'll tell you exactly where that money goes. That money is going to the 1% in this island. That increase in economic activity, when they say, oh, the economy is getting better. For who?
Right.
Huh? It ain't for the poor people, because the poor people are getting poorer. Okay? Look at the game rooms. All that money is going to Johnny Cool and Sheila Torres. All that money is going to Gilshan O'Hara and Randy Cunliffe and Amanda Shelton, the senator, who has huge gaming interests in this island. All that money is going to Matson Navigation for their fucking shipping of all this shit, right? And then, you know who should be saying something about this shit? Because this involves the economy of Guam, and this involves, how much each of us pays, our ability to have an income level to support the largesse of these corporations on this island. Guam Chamber, sorry, I just burped when I said Guam Chamber of Commerce. That's how much I don't fucking like them. Guam Chamber of Commerce. Are we on my screen? Let's see who are the members of the board of directors of the Guam Chamber of Commerce for 2019. Look at that. Chairman of the board, Joe Arnett, loser. Vice Chairwoman, Christine Boleto from Calvo Enterprises, from MidPac. The Chief Financial Officer, also one of the board members who fucked over the Port 7. Oh, look at this. Immediate past chair, Jim Herbert, drunk Christine Calvo extraordinaire. Likes to run his car into people. Bobby Shringy, dumb fuck. Frank Campillo, Health Plan Administrator, Calvo Select Care. I don't know Maria Guerrero. Cisco Hutabe is cool. Jeffrey Jones, Triple J Enterprises. Maureen Maritita, annoying as fuck and just believes in the social stratosphere system on this island. Oh, she's so annoying. She's so fucking... Milton's cool. Bob Solis, the guy who brought in the rhino beetle. Congratulations, Bob Solis. Mark Sablon, South Pacific Petroleum Corporation. That'd be seven. They're the guys that like to bring up the price of your gas. But actually, it would be Mobil who does that first. And that Mobil, some of those gas stations are owned by Mike Benito, Governor Eddie Calvo's brother-in-law. Ed Antalon, banker, First Hawaiian Bank. Bernadette Valencia, Vice President and General Manager of Guam and Micronesia Matson Navigation Company. Matson. Now, why hasn't the Guam Chamber of Commerce said shit about the Jones Act? Now, the Jones Act is this, and we'll have a whole production about the Jones Act to explain this a little bit better, but just the Cliff's Notes of it is the Jones Act prevents us from getting cheaper prices in shipping, because it prevents a whole lot of shipping lines from coming through Guam because they are not U.S. flagged and their ships are not built in the United States, where it costs a ton more money, like a Joe Man Brown ton more money to build ships. It's like cheaper to build them in Asia, but because of this protectionist policy called the Jones Act, or I believe it's called the Merchant Marine Act of 1920, companies like Matson are protected, and Matson is on the board of directors of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Now, geez, why wouldn't the Chamber of Commerce say shit about this whole Jones Act thing? Are we still on? Are we still on the screen? Because I want to show everyone that Kandit a couple of days ago tweeted Catherine Castro, the president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce and the Guam Chamber of Commerce. What is the Guam Chamber of Commerce doing to stop Matson's game of Monopoly? Reference District Court Civil Case 18-CV-02751 in the District Court of the District of Columbia. That's Matson's civil case against the U.S. Department of Transportation, trying to get rid of its only competition on Guam, its only competition. The only people in Matson's own filings who Matson admits that because of this competition, they've had to lower prices, and they complain about that. It is one of the reasons that they give for suing U.S. Department of Transportation to get rid of the Maritime Security Program and effectively get rid of APL, American President Lines, Matson's only competition here. If it weren't for APL, we would be fucked royally. Matson would increase the rates substantially and significantly. And yeah, we'll see that GDP grow up like you know, I was going to make a joke about people getting high, but probably inappropriate. It would go up astronomically, but at whose expense? Us, the people who have to buy this shit at all the grocery stores. The grocery stores have to like increase their prices because it costs that much more to ship that shit from California to Guam because of Matson. So I was looking on the internet, like I just typed in Jones Act. You know, you type in taxes in a Google search, Guam Chamber of Commerce plus taxes. Oh, they've got a lot to say about that. They always have a lot to say about, oh, don't increase our taxes because the people will suffer and their employees and blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, Chamber. You don't give a fuck about the people. You just give a fuck about yourselves and your bottom line. Look at your membership listing. It's just like dwindling by the year. Every year, your membership dwindles more and more, and all you ever represent are the large corporate interests of this island just trying to fuck over the rest of the people of Guam. You are the same people who judge druggies and drug dealers who are entrepreneurs in the black market. But you've done nothing to help the poor people. As a matter of fact, when you had an opportunity to say something about the Jones Act, this was former Senator Frank Blas back in the 31st Guam legislature. This was in the year 2012. He did this whole hullabaloo. Are we on the screen? He was like, hey, let's get Congress to do a Jones Act exemption on Guam, and so that Matson doesn't have this whole fucking monopoly here, and so that Matson can stop fucking over the people of Guam. And boy, oh boy, not one thing is said here from the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Nothing. There is nothing in this article that has the Chamber of Commerce coming forward about shit. And all these people from AmericanShipper.com, they just quote American Maritime Partnership, a trade association for Jones Act operators, told American Shipper that it strongly supports the build requirement, which, like the Jones Act itself, has provided important economic, national, and homeland security benefits, bullshit, in the non-contiguous areas and throughout the U.S. Guam, of course, is not subject to the build requirement. Matt Paxton, president of the Shipbuilders Council of America, said, efforts to undermine the Jones Act do have a chilling effect on the shipbuilding markets in the U.S. What shipbuilding markets? No one's building ships in the U.S. because it's too fucking expensive. There's no shipbuilding market in the U.S. All you people are doing is fucking us over here in the territories, in the insular areas, in places far away from where all the goods are. We have to ship that shit in, and we're just slaves to companies like Matson with their large lobbying efforts. Ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous. So, we're going to have more about all of that and more about how Matson's interest may have made its way into the governor's office, into the current governor's office. We're going to have more on that in tomorrow's show. But I want to go to some good news regarding the Port Authority of Guam. So we have some good news tonight. It's really a true story of perseverance and of never giving up. And truly, this is like more than a positive news story. This is a big fuck you to Dan Tidinko, Mike Benito, Joe Man Brown, and all those people, all those criminal conspirators who fucked over the Port 7. This is about one of those members of the Port 7. It's about a guy named Jojo Guevara, who just recently was reinstated as the financial manager of the Port Authority of Guam. Are we on our first picture? So this evening we congratulate the Port's Financial Affairs Controller, Jojo Guevara. He headlined in a press release from the Port Authority today, recognizing him for his work with the Guam chapter of the Association of American Government Accountants. This is a very reputable nonprofit organization that guards, what is that stupid thing called? It's not stupid, okay? It's that whole certified government accountants, blah 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 blah. I forgot what it's called. So Jojo is one of the Port 7, and Kandit News is proud to recognize him as well for his accomplishments. And we got to thank the Seaport for putting this out. Jojo first began his career at the port in 1997, and he worked his way up to the position of Financial Affairs Controller. It's a job that Anicia Terlahi said that she once had, and then we found out that she had the job for 3 days because she sucked at it. He was a critical element on the fiscal side of operations, and he directed all of the financial programs to include the accounting, budgeting, payroll, property control, all the federal funds, all the non-appropriated funds. This guy handled everything, and this is why. So he managed and supervised the personnel of the accounting, the payroll, tariff, the budget sections, all underneath the Financial Affairs Division. And as the controller, Jojo, or I think they call him Mr. Guevara. I don't know if they call him Jojo or they call him Mr. Guevara. His friends call him Jojo. I don't know him, I never met him, but I'm going to call him Jojo because he's my friend tonight. They apparently always gave excellent advice and counsel to department heads regarding budget policy over all those years that he was there, and over federal grant requirements and implementation. And that was prior to 2012, because in late 2012, Jojo no longer became known for his many years of service to the people of Guam. Instead, he became one of the victims of the Port 7 case. Really, that was the biggest political witch hunt in the history of this government, and it hurt this guy and his family very much. For years, Mike Phillips, Joe Man Brown, Dan Tidinko, they called Jojo and the others criminals, said they should be indicted, and every time those assholes did that, Jojo this guy quietly upped his game. He's not like me. Like I didn't do the quiet thing, okay? I did the whole, fuck you all, I'm here, I'm gonna fuck you up. But no, not Jojo, he's got class. So, he upped his game. So, Mike, Dan, Joe Man, spreading lies and hate about Jojo. Oh, what about this? Jojo got elected president of the Guam chapter of the Association of Government Accountants. Mike Phillips, Joanne Brown, Dan Tidinko had more shit talking to say about Jojo. And then what? What? He was awarded the prestigious Chapter Service Award by the Association of Government Accountants. What was that, Mike Phillips? Joanne? Little Dan? Little Dan? Slandering the Port 7 again? Well, while you were all getting your grave digger to bury these victims, Jojo was getting his master's degree from the University of Guam, all the while caring for his parents, his family. He was fighting the most vicious attack that we've ever witnessed by our government against a group of employees. And you know what? That's some kick-ass shit right there. Okay? This guy knows perseverance. He knows trial and tribulation. He rose to the occasion. So Civil Service Commission, JoJo won. Superior Court, JoJo won. Supreme Court, JoJo won. This guy never gave up, and despite their best efforts to see him and the others give up, throw in the towel, this guy fought for his integrity. He fought for his family, you know? He fought against corruption. He fought for himself and for others. JoJo is the first of the Port 7 to get reinstated as the courts have ordered. Despite Mike and Joe Mann and Dan fighting it every step of the way, he fought it, and he won. Even former board member, and thank you, Mega Haga Leon Guerrero, for replacing this fat Oscar Calvo. He tried in the last board meeting on February 12th to stop JoJo from getting his responsibilities back at the port. He even called JoJo a criminal in that meeting. Yet this criminal just received a prestigious award from the Association of Government Accountants, which is way more than Oscar Calvo has ever achieved in his fat hamburger-eating life. So new general manager Rory Respicio called them all out on it. Called out Joe Mann and Dan and Mike Phillips and Mike Benito. And he put Oscar and Mike Phillips in their places. You know, less than 2 weeks ago, the port board voted to fully reinstate Joe Guevara as comptroller to the full range of financial authority that he held at the agency prior to his termination in December 2012. It was an upward climb for him, but a climb nonetheless that he achieved and he made happen. So tonight, we thank you, Rory Respicio, General Manager of the Port, Connie Jo Shinihara, Deputy General Manager, and most of all to Jojo Guevara. You know, thanks for continuing your fight, for not giving up, for having integrity, for fighting corruption and taking a stand for your integrity and for your honor and your dignity. It goes to show, I mean, this guy is an inspiration to everybody who is falling on bad times. And let me tell you something personal about today. Today, I woke up and I had the strongest withdrawals that I've ever had. All I wanted to do was put the world out of me, stick a needle in my arm, and get high. That's all I wanted to do. There's still nothing triggered it. Well, maybe some stress and work gets hard, you know, long hours and stuff. And I'm kind of fat. But I guess you can call that giving up. Yeah, I would be giving up some focus that I had to not get high. And it lasted for hours. And I've never, ever, ever succeeded in defying that craving for drugs for hours. It would just, within 20 minutes, if the craving didn't go away, I would have already been on the phone with the dealer. Be like, all right, why don't you just drop that shit off? You know, like I'm watching Elsa over here. I'm watching Frozen, and Elsa, this bitch keeps fucking making ice castles, and she's making me malagu. So I felt this way. But then I saw this thing about JoJo, and I thought, fuck, man, if that guy can do it, I can do it too. Because he's been through way more shit than me. So that would make me a fucking fag if I had succumbed to that shit. While this guy got his goddamn master's degree, yeah, in the face of hovering Joe Mann Brown and her gravitational pull and all the revolutions that people have to do around her gravitational pull. All right? So JoJo, you're an inspiration to all of us. You were an inspiration to me today. Your story, even though I've never met you, your story is an inspiration to me, and I thank you for that. So with that, that's a wrap for tonight. This is our news. Thank you so much. You have a good night. I love you all, and that's all.
That's all.
Union, which exposed the
That's all.
exploitation.
That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all.